going to add the papers, and for this second project I'm using these papers as the name of the paper pad, Chateau, and this is by Craft Smart, and I bought it at Michael's, and I love it because it has these pale colors in blue and pink and also gold accents. Okay, I'm gonna show you very fast how the papers look. If you didn't visit Michael's, you might get them now in there. See how beautiful. I use this one for the end of the pages and gives a very nice accent. This one can be used for tags, and also has these beautiful embellishments right here. See, so this is the paper pad that I chose for this project, and now I'm gonna show you how to cover the album. This is the album, and I'm going to start with the cover, okay? But I already put papers in some of the pages that it's okay if you just start, like for example this part I didn't put because I'm gonna show you how to make the pocket, and for this one, yeah, it's okay. Then the rest like are simple. We don't need only to embellish the edges and things like that. You can go ahead, but when you start decorating the paper, don't do this part right here, because the cover we're going to go all the way to this side, okay? And also if you're doing this side, don't do anything on this part until we finish the cover first, okay? So now for the cover, I chose this paper, okay, and this one right here, okay? So this one I cut at 9 inches by 8, okay? 2 sheets of paper of the same size, 9 by 8, okay? And the first one we are going to put on the front, okay, right here, and we are going to score 1/2 of an inch here and 1/2 of an inch here. I am going to glue this 1/2 of an inch, okay, right here, okay, on top, and then fold it to the inside right here, okay? And then right here is 7 inches, and the other 1/2 inch is going to fold it to the base, okay, like this. So we have the first part of the cover. Now this is done, and as you can see, it has the 1/2 inch right here. Then the front is covered, and I have folded to the front right here, okay, of the first page. Now we're going to glue the other one, and this one is 8 by 9 again. We are going to put it like the way that it's supposed to, like for example this one is supposed to be like this. So I'm going to do at the bottom 2 inches. You score at 2 inches, and that will go to the bottom, and this one to the top, okay? So I'm going to get my album, and I'm going to glue this part up here like this, okay? So it's going to cover everything, okay? Front, bottom, and here. Now I'm done, and as you can see, now the back of this album is ready. And before we put this one on top, we are going to put the straps right here, just for decoration. Can you see these ones right here? Okay, we need to glue them before we put this one. As you can see, this one go underneath, okay? So we are going to start doing that. And for the ones that I made, I chose the same color like for the straps and the top. This is the paper that I chose for the top, and for the rest of the paper I cut these straps, and they are 1 inch wide, okay? And this one is 1 inch by 9.5, okay? 9.5, and you are going to score at 2 inches right here, okay? That's for the base at 2 inches, and then right here, it's 1/2 inch that you're going to flip to the inside, so probably it's going to be a little less, okay, but you begin right here with the 2 inches. Okay, then we need 2 of those, and we need 2 that are smaller, and these 2 are 7.5 by 1 inch. Okay, and the same thing, we are going to score at 2 inches. Okay, they both are 2 inches. So that's what we're going to do. And now I'm going to glue them this way. Okay, I'm going to start with these small ones, and I left on this side 1 inch and 1/4. Okay, so you measure 1 inch and 1/4, and you're going to put the strap there. If you want, you can do it at 1.5 inches. Okay, but I'm going to do it at 1 1/4, and this one too at 1 1/4. Okay, so it's going to look like this. Then I'm going to fold this one, okay, that has the 2 inches right here and 2 inches right here, and I'm going to glue. That's okay if you see that this one is smaller than the paper. It's okay, because we are going to cover that with the top. Okay, so you don't need to make it long. Okay, so I'm going to glue this one, and I need to measure carefully the size that are equal, and I'm going to put this one right here. You begin with these ones, okay, the back. Then you are going to do the same at the front with the long ones. Okay, you are going to fold this one, the 2 inches right here. Okay, you're going to fold at 2 inches, and you are going to do the same. Okay, this one will go on top of this one, so you have to match them, and measure right here the same measurement, 1 1/4. Okay, and right here 2, and then the rest of the paper you are going to fold it to the first page. Okay, right here where the pocket is. So I'm going to do that. Now both sides are ready. Can you see? And this is a little shorter, but that's okay. And this one is how it looks at the bottom. This album I'm going to embellish with a lot of white, because the pale colors go with white, and that's why I didn't distress the edges. But if you're using a little darker tone, kind of brown, or your papers are ivory, you can distress the edges before you put the papers. Okay, so this is fine, no distress. Like for this one, is more like vintage, and as you can see, I distressed the edges, but I did it after I put the papers, so the papers are a little bit distressed too with the ink. See, and not too much, just a little. Okay, so it's up to you. And now we are going to do the top part. Okay, we are done with both sides, and we are going to do this part up here. It's up to you if you want to round right here. I prefer to have it like this, straight, because it looks more vintage, more antique. And now for this part, I'm going to cut up paper, which is 9 by 7. Okay, and on the part that is 7, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Then you're going to score at 3 and 4 3/4. Okay, then when you have that, you're going to fold this 1/2 inch at 3, and this one at 4 3/4. Okay, and this one, it's very important that you cover with glue or tape. Okay, and you are going to put it like this. The 1/2 inch will go again to the front. Okay, so it has a nice finish. Okay, then this one is the same exact scoring marks right here as the top, so they are going to be fine to be folded, okay, as many times, because it has the same folding. Okay, and this one, the rest is going to fall on the back, and that will cover these parts up here. okay, the parts up here, so you can see. So I'll do that and I'll be right back. And an important tip when you're gluing this one, the top part, you begin right here on the center of the top. Okay, I'm going to put this one like this. See, on this part up here, then you can just fold that to the back and fold to the front, and whatever is left to the inside. Okay, now this is done, and as you can see, it looks like this, and this is the back. Okay, so we are going to do the inside now. For this part up here, okay, I'm going to tell you, I did in this album, okay, I cut the paper on the sides at 9, okay, but right here on the top, and I cut like 1/8 of an inch smaller, because when you put exactly, for example, right here, they don't fold very well, so you just have to leave that part free, so it can be like naturally folding back and forth. Okay, so as you can see right here, the sides are exactly, but then right here it's just a little bit, especially right here, okay, 1/8 of an inch smaller on the top. It's supposed to be 6, but I cut like 6 minus 1/8 of an inch, so I just leave more space at the bottom than on top. Okay, and as you can see, I cover most of the pages, and I left this one right here so I can show you. For this part up here, you just measure like 1/2 of an inch bigger, okay, and then glue it inside of the pocket. You don't need to put a lot inside, just 1/2 of an inch is going to be okay. And as you can see, the size are exactly. And I like the size of this album, because when you have the papers, you can get most of your papers. I'm going to grab this one that is not too bright. Okay, for example, you get a 12 by 12 and you just cut at 9, okay, and you have this one for tags or for borders, and this one you just cut at 6, so you have for 2 pages 6 by 9. Okay, so that's the way that you get the measurement. And then if you want, you can cover the whole thing, or if you want, you can cut at 1/4 of an inch smaller, especially if you distress the edges. And if you cut 1/4 of an inch smaller, you will have some space on the sides too. See right here, okay, like 1/8 of an inch on each side, and that's how it's going to look. Okay, I prefer for this other album, because I said it's going to have a lot of white. I prefer to cover most of the ivory. Okay, and now for this part, you can cut exactly the same size of the pocket, and you can glue now this one on top. For example, I'm going to put this one right here, and now I can glue it on top. Okay, and then I have my pocket right here, and if you want, you can embellish the border with another paper, or maybe one of the border embellishments from the collection. Okay, see, now it's covered and it has a nice finish at the end of the page. Okay, now we're going to do this part up here. For the pocket, I already glued, because this one is not going to be on top of any paper. But this part up here, yes, you have to cut a paper that it's going to cover the whole thing right here and 1/2 of an inch more, and we're going to do the creases that goes with this one. Okay, so I cut a paper that is 7 by 9. Okay, and for this part up here, for the first score, okay, it was supposed to be a 2.5, but I cut 1/8 of an inch smaller than 2.5. So I have that 1/8 of an inch right here on the border. Okay, I will have that finish right here, the 1/8 of an inch, okay? And then I cut for this part 1 inch and 3/4, okay? And then the rest is going to be inside, okay? You just have to put the papers before you glue, so you know that it's going to be exactly the size. And for example, I had to cut right here the corners so it can enter better when it has the adhesive, okay? Now this is how it's going to look. See, it has a good finish. Everything is covered with paper, and right here comes the pocket. Now I'm going to show you two things, okay? When you put the papers, you can choose the papers that you want, but right here, do you remember the folding of the file folder? Okay, this is the middle, and it was like very flimsy. It looked like it was going to be bent, but no. Right here, when you cover this part, you have to put a tape in the center, and then when you put this other paper, okay, you are going to make it stiff, strong. So these papers look like this. They don't bend at all, okay? They are covered with both papers and the tape, or if you put glue, it had to be on this side right here where the crease was, okay? Or the folding part, okay? So that's important that you put the tape or adhesive right here, okay? So reinforce that part with this paper. And then right here I wanted to show you that the flaps that were attached to each page are going to be almost invisible, because you're going to cover with your paper, and it will look like this, so you don't see how the pages are done, okay? So for example, right here, see, you can see nothing in there. So this is a very nice finish for your album. Now I'm going to show you how to make the pocket right here, okay? Here is the original album that I made, and the paper pad had these beautiful tags that I just wanted to use them in a pocket, but I created this pocket right here with the papers, and this one can go behind, and you can use this one as a mat for picture. See, and they have two different sizes. This one is 2.5 and this one is 3, okay? So, and they both can fit in the pocket. See, so we are going to make those pockets, and you can make your tags and put it in there, okay? Depends on the paper that you are using, but right here is 9 inches by 4. I cut the papers at 3 inches by 4, and then I cut 1/8 of an inch on top, okay? And right here is 6 by 4. Okay, and same thing, I want to show a little bit, so I cut 1/8 of an inch. And if you want this one to be underneath, you can put this one at 3 1/4, okay, and then put this one on top, okay? Mine are already like exactly, okay? And then how you glue is glue this one, the whole piece on top, like this. I'm going to do all the way to the edge, okay? And this part, okay, it's going to be right here, but because the tag is not too long, okay, for example, the tags are not too long, I'm going to make like about this size, and this tag is about 6 inches by 2.5. So I want the tag to be like about there, so I need to cover this space with glue. So what I did is just mark right here, see, and I have to cover this space with glue or tape, so the tag doesn't go all the way to inside the pocket. And you have to put a very thin line of glue, or maybe 1/4 of an inch tape, and here is the part that will stop the tag from going all the way. Okay, so I'm going to glue this one right here, and that'll be all. See, just glue right there, and then you have the pocket. And for your tag, you can embellish with ribbons in binding, okay, but don't put big embellishments like flowers or thick embellishments, because then they are not going to close. The album is not going to close. Okay, so for this album, look for all your embellishments that are kind of flat, okay, like rhinestones, flat flowers, metal embellishments, things like that. Okay.